Welcome to the Cosme Reads for episode 25.
Jeez, 25. Holy cow. We're
25.
making moves.
We are. And welcome back, Alondo. Will not be with us tonight after carrying the weight of the podcast on his shoulder for 2 weeks.
I know.
He got sick.
Like Atlas. He was like, he was carrying the whole thing, man.
The whole thing on his shoulder for 2 weeks.
That's right.
Couldn't cut it. So he's taking the week off to lick his wounds and recover. I think it's because the Redskins lost. Our Commanders lost. I think it's.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
He's probably in chat like, "No, dude, I'm dying over here." Good deal. We have Alondo back after 2 weeks of being in the land of the Vikings in the great north of Norway, Sweden, Denmark, all those northern European countries.
Yeah, all the Nordic countries. That's right. I don't want to say Scandinavia because Finland technically is not part of Scandinavia. Okay. So, yeah, but all those areas.
Yeah.
Back to the warmth.
As I said last week, the land of Winter Olympic gold medalists.
Yes.
They win everything.
Absolutely.
Everything. But yeah, so good deal. Glad to have you back.
Thank you.
You'll have to tell us all about your trip and how awesome it was.
Yeah, it was good times, man. I can't complain. These people are some of the happiest people on earth for a reason. They have great economies. They're, very green, by the way. There's like electric cars everywhere, which is cool. And everyone bikes all the time. Yeah. I think the percentage I saw was in Copenhagen. 55% of the people in Copenhagen bike to work every day.
Okay.
And same thing in Sweden. Stockholm. Bicyclists everywhere. Dedicated bike lanes all over the place. It's just like it's no big deal to see bikes everywhere. Nobody locks a bike up because they're just bikes everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
That works.
It was good.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Good.
Man.
Yeah. My vacation travels of traveling to the Virginia mountains to go apple picking is not quite as cool, but that's what I did this weekend.
Still cool though.
We got a bushel of apples and had to climb a mountain to get them because apparently where on these mountains they have like tons of apples everywhere, different types of apples, but like this year the fresh apples were like all the way at the top of the mountain, so we had to hike all the way up there and. Yeah, it was fine. I didn't mind it, but with 3 little kids, that was a little tough.
And the question is, what are you gonna do with these apples, though? Are you gonna make something special with the apples? Or?
So we eat a lot of them, but then we do make apple pie and we do make apple butter. Apple butter. So like we'll keep them in the refrigerator for a few months, and they'll stay fresh for a few months, and then after that, rather than eat them, we'll just start turning them into butter.
Gotcha. No caramel or candied apples, none of that.
No, none of that. We do, like I said, we do make apple butter, and we give it away. And apple butter is delicious. So
definitely can't go wrong with apple butter, though.
Yeah. So it is. Yep, apple butter's good. So we put it on all my toast in the morning for the next year, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So it's going to be great. Yeah. As far as announcements go, Jordan Con, the hotel rooms block has been opened, so you can go there and get your block. You just go to Jordan Con's website, get your block there. I reserved at least one hotel room. I'm not sure how many each hotel room comes with 2 beds. I'm not sure how we're going to divvy up everyone this year. I looked at suite prices, but they're just ridiculous. I was doing that with Alondo right before we started.
Yeah,
I was like,
nope.
I was like, yeah, maybe we just get a suite, but it's like a 2-bedroom suite, and it's like $1,000 a night. I'm like, no,
it's just no. I'll definitely I'll split a room with you if you want to do that, man. But I'm not gonna do it. That $900 a night or whatever for a suite. I'm like, no, sir, unnecessary.
Yeah, and it's only like 2 bedrooms, I think. So you have like a big living space in the middle, so you can have like people over. But like, so maybe you can fit like 4 or 5 people in there, and like we're rolling 5 deep at least. So because you will, and then Ian and Chris, and then if Chris brings his wife, she usually goes. I'm not sure if Tara's going to come with Will. So once you start divvying it all up, it's like, just get rooms.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, now you're talking about like living like a fraternity. You know, what I mean, a whole bunch of people like this, like squashed in space. I'm like, no, we got people sleeping in bathtubs and stuff. Nah, that's all right.
Yeah, yeah.
We're too grown for that, man. Come on.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, so that's exciting. So got my tickets finally and
Good.
have my hotel reserved. So I will be there. And
Yeah,
actually we'll
now
be
that I got this
doing
trip out the way, because
yeah.
I'm terrible at multitasking. So
Oh
now that I've
sure.
got this trip out the way, now I can focus on the next thing, which is get the whole get my
Yeah.
tickets lined up, all that kind of stuff, and hopefully, unlike the last conference that I bought tickets for and didn't go to,
Yeah.
this time I plan on attending. So
Sure. Yeah, and we'll be
yeah.
we'll be doing some carpooling down that way too, I think.
Oh yeah, hope so. Hopefully so. We can do a
'Cause
caravan.
yeah, we're gonna
Yes.
road trip down our way down there. I mean, that's what we did a couple years ago when Ian didn't go last year because he had family drama last minute. Um, but the year before we went together. Chris is
Hmm.
already down in Charlotte, so he usually just meets us
Oh,
down there because he lives
okay.
in
Makes
Charlotte.
sense. Yeah,
And of course,
he's
Will
right
lives in
there.
Baltimore, so he'll probably have to at least come close by. So we'll
Well,
figure
he can
something
come
out.
down here and catch up with us, and then we can
Yeah,
just like all like
and
jump in one car.
Ian's in Richmond, so we can just head over
See,
there,
there you
pick him
go.
up,
Yeah,
and yeah, just cruise on
perfect.
down.
Works out perfectly.
Cruise on
Yes,
down to Atlanta.
absolutely. Yes.
So, but we will be there. At least I will be there from Thursday till through and leave on Monday. I know the conference doesn't start till the con doesn't start till Friday, but Thursday nights always a fun time. So if you're going, it's your first time ever going, I do recommend going um, Thursday night because
Cool.
it's worth it. Um,
Nice.
and if you're wondering why I'm talking about Jordan Con on a Cosmere stream, it's because there is a ton of Cosmere stuff at Jordan Con. It's actually a pretty large Cosmere stuff. Brandon Simpson has gone to it multiple times. He hasn't gone the last 2 years, but the year before that he was there. He always sends some people from Dragonsteel team. Dragonsteel's his company, if you didn't know that, Alondo.
Yes.
So they're always there, and there's always
Mhm.
an entire Cosmere or Brandon Sanderson track for panels and things like that. So there's lots and lots and lots of stuff around Cosmere and Brandon Sanderson in general at the conference, not just All Wheel of Time and Robert Jordan. And there's also a sci-fi track, and there's a general fantasy track, and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, there you go.
Good times.
Fun stuff. That's the only announcement
Yeah.
I really have. It's just that.
Good.
I am working also on making an outro, so that way we don't have this really awkward pause at the very end of our videos. I'm doing that also for the Will Reads. Hopefully, I will have that done by next time we film.
Oh, well, that's
Um,
because I wasn't there to say, Scotch Stank Fresh at the end of the.
Will did it every time for you.
Oh, good, good, good. Okay. I was like, someone's gotta keep it going, right?
I'm gonna download a video and just get you a clip of it on repeat, and that's gonna be our outro. So you're gonna do it, and I'm gonna hit the button. It's just gonna be you doing it. For like...
There it is. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Iris, I know. I think it was 2 years ago you went to Jordan Con. We hung out a little bit there. I went to Jordan Con once so far. Not planning on 2024, though. Okay. Well, I'd like to see you again at some point. I'm not sure if we're going to do it.
See everybody there.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to do it every year going forward. We talked on the Wheel Reads a little bit about that. This year might be the last year that we've done it like 3 years consecutively. And then we might start trying to trade out other cons. Just to kind of spread the wealth. So like, maybe 1 year go to, it was a possum year. That was 2 years ago. The infamous possum.
What's a possum year? What does that mean?
I might have been drunk and I might have let a baby possum into the hotel lobby in the middle of the night. And Ian might have ran down the possum while wearing a black cocktail dress and stole someone's cowboy hat and then captured the possum and then held his hands and carried it.
I mean, all that makes perfect sense. All of it makes perfect sense.
Yes. It was a lot of fun. The easing of the possum.
All of it checks out. Black cocktail dress, possum babies. Yep, sure.
Yeah, and it was Tree who does all of our graphic stuff. It was her dress. So we had to return it, and the possum did get kind of scared and did poop all over the dress. So had to return a soiled dress. This is the kind of stuff you're missing if you don't go to Jordan Con. There was no possum last year, but stuff like that happens. The possum with the green. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the lobby. Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic. But yeah, going forward, we might go to WatCon, we might go to Dragonsteel Con, we might go to Dragon Con. There's lots of different cons that happen around the world. Maybe Comic Con. I don't know. I heard that's a fun time too. But try to spread the wealth and maybe try some other ones as well.
Oh, Comic Cons are great though. I mean,
Comic Cons, yeah, whether San
as a comic book
Diego
guy,
or
obviously I got all
yeah,
comic books and stuff on. Yeah, good Comic
San,
Cons. Like
San Diego
can't beat
or
them.
the New York Comic Con are the two big ones that I do want to attend at some point in my life.
Yeah, well, San Diego is
It's the big
good,
one.
but that one, it's if you're into comic books, it's more about the movies and stuff, less about comic books. But New York
Right.
Comic Con is great, which just was last weekend.
Yeah.
That just finished up. But the locally, the one that I tell people is a great one is Heroes Con in Charlotte.
Okay.
And that's in the middle of June. In fact,
Yeah.
I proposed my wife the same time as a Comic Con, Charlotte, the Heroes Con, and not at Heroes Con. That was actually a separate thing that I did. But yeah, I highly recommend that. Oh, that's right, Pythos. Okay, so Pythos. Just to make sure, I'm sick, but I'm not doing like the crazy super fancy stuff. So right now I have a wine that's actually just kind of until I finish that. But I've made a strawberry gin cocktail made with Icelandic gin that I got from the trip that I just came back from. So I can't tell you much more than that because I don't remember what I put in it other than lime juice and some other things in there.
Vodka and
Alan, what
lemon
you got?
seltzer water.
There you go.
It's
All
light
right.
and refreshing. Some
Nice.
vodka with some
Nice.
seltzer water.
Cool. And I came back with some like special Japanese whiskey that I got. You can only get like on the other side of the Atlantic, and but I was like, I'm gonna break that out, and I was like, no, I'm not feeling good, and I feel like I'm not gonna do it justice with my taste buds being a little off right now. So I'm like, I need to save that for when I can really enjoy it. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, that's got cons. We're gonna go into lots of cons. But I do want to kind of spread that around because I do want to go to Dragonsteel Con as well. That's the Brand Sanderson's official con at some point in my life. It'll probably be a one-time only thing, and it's a really smaller con because it's newer. It's in Utah. It's Salt Lake City.
I knew you were gonna say it's Utah. I was like waiting for you to say it. So
it's Utah. Salt Lake City. And then the Gathering Madness, which I know a lot of my mods went to that this year. This Black Tower podcast does that. That looked like a lot of fun. They did archery tournament.
Cool.
That looked fun. I want to go to that sometime. So anyways, with that all being said, let's jump right into before we jump into the book, let's recap and get your thoughts on everything you missed over the last 2 weeks, because it's been, let's see, how many chapters did we cover while you were gone? I don't even know.
8. 8 chapters.
Good. You're on top. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we ended part 2 and started part 2 since you've been gone. So
yeah, you ended part 2, started part 3 last week, right?
Thoughts about everything that's gone down at this point?
Ellen getting, basically, they, usurped his power, using his own laws, which is kind of funny. I mean, ironic or whatever you want to say on that. That was interesting. Of course, there's the whole detective detective visiting who's the imposter,
who's the
still
imposter,
going on. That's still happening. Vin got one of the Sherlock Holmes, like, magnifying glasses, like, going around, the whole thing. So that, of course, that was the cliffhanger for part 2 was like,
the be deposed.
Yeah, him being deposed. It was like, oh, tom, that kind of thing.
Right.
And then it's just the fallout now. So
last chapter was kind of ended with a bang. The last with Seth standing up in the audience, being like, "I'm right here." It's
but I'm not buying this whole frail old man that's got to be in the chair that gets.
There's Vin. We'll get to that.
No, I don't know about that. So we'll see what our thoughts are on that. I didn't write a lot of copious notes about my thoughts on the chapters because I was like, well, since I have to speak about it, I didn't really write a whole lot.
That's fine.
So I just kind of locked in like what I was listening to. I listened to the 4 chapters at the same time on the plane as you guys were recording the episode.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I was trying to kind of keep it fresh, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And then
Yeah.
the 4 chapters from last week's episode I listened to at the same time I was reading this week's 4
Mhm.
chapters. So
Okay.
still all kind of fresh in my head. And that was the reason why I did that. Is just so that way I didn't feel like anything was too like lost in the cobwebs in my mind.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yep. That's
Cool.
where I'm at.
Well, let's jump right into chapter 32. So this is right after the bombshell. They're still in the crowd, and it's Vin's point of view. So
Yeah.
she's just tensely like watching the crowd or whatever, scanning. Notices everyone's reactions are pretty much the same as hers. Just everybody's kind of shocked
Right.
that he's even there. Notices that he has tons of guards around him as well, and he seems to be enjoying all of the attention he's getting.
Yeah.
And Vin just turns to Breeze and is like, not really what I expected. It's like, but no one told you he was crippled. And
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he's not. He's like, yeah, that not only that, but he has like a full beard and everything like that, and like like that'll take more than a year to grow. So like,
Yeah, he didn't just grow
like,
that beard. That beard's been there around for a minute.
and Ham's is like, yeah, the nobles outside of the capital city aren't quite as posh. They're kind of more. So it's kind of the point.
Yeah, he's
but,
well established. So he's
yeah,
not trying to put on airs for somebody else. He's like, I've been doing this for a long time, kid. So he doesn't care about what he wears and how his facial hair looks, and which makes sense. I mean, when you get bold like that, or you get old like that, you're just like, sure, whatever, kiddos. I'll do what I want to do.
Yeah. And immediately he takes the floor and starts directly talking to Ellen in front of everyone. Just basically talking him down. Like, the reason why you should elect me is because obviously I know what I'm doing. I'm like this boy.
Yeah.
And Ellen, they start having a back and forth in front of everyone. Sort of honesty and that kind of stuff. Is honesty. Are you telling me none of your people around you are soothing people right now? And Ellen, being the honorable guy, is like, no, they are. It's like, see, like, what do you mean?
And,
like,
and he asked the question, and Vin's like, don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, they are. And she's like, oh no.
Oh damn! Like, that doesn't help your cause.
No.
So what are your opinions of Set? Like the crotchety old man, like get off my lawn type guy, but like obviously like
I love an old dude that does not give 2 F's, which is why my man Clubs is like always in like, rotation is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So I like Set because he's just like, I've been around too long. I don't have time. And I think that's what happens as you get older. You start realizing, I don't have time to sit here and play these games. I'm just going to go ahead and just, just cut to the chase. Here's what's going on. Here's how I feel about things, et cetera, et cetera. And I appreciate that personally. So it all made sense to me, that Set is that kind of guy. And it's not like he's like, oh, well, I just being a jerk to be a jerk or something like that. He's just like, hey, kid, I've been playing this game a long time. I know what the rules are of the game. And right now, you young bucks don't know how to run things. Let me come in here and show you how it's done.
Yeah.
I was okay with that. I mean, in theory,
Yeah. And he's being bold about things. Like, yeah, how about you guys go ahead and give me the crown right now? Like, this is
hand me the crown.
And Ellen,
hand me the crown.
It's like, unless you can get an unanimous vote right now, and
right,
knowing that there's no way he could, because
he immediately was like, that's not going to happen. So he's like, fucks.
Yeah. But at the same time, he's just very cocky and very bold about everything, and just very open. He's just like, they're like, yeah, I want to talk to each one of the civilian one-on-one. And Ellen's like, what? So you can bribe them? He's like, of course, yeah, I'm gonna bribe them. Yeah.
What? Oh, and he was like, why wouldn't I? Yeah, he's like, while it's open, let's bribe people. That's what you do.
That's what you do. Yeah, of course, we're gonna pay him money so they.
Exactly. He knows what time it is.
It's like I'm not trying to sugarcoat stuff and hide what I'm going to do. And it's like, what about my government? It's like, I'll dissolve it immediately. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's like,
oh yeah, and we're gonna dissolve everything. We're gonna go back to the way it was. By the way, Ska, hope you enjoyed your freedoms. You about to go back? The whole thing.
The whole thing. Just carry it on.
Yeah, he's like, this whole thing. We're about to undo all of this.
Yeah. Bold.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so so thoughts about all that before I kind of switch a little bit around. Well, I guess before we get to the end of it, they do agree to let him stay in the city with a little bit less of men than before. That's
Yeah,
one
he
thing he
wanted
requested.
5,000.
Yeah, they agreed to 1,000 still, which is
Yeah,
still
they agreed to
decent
1,000.
size. Yeah,
Right. 1,000 dudes though. I mean, I mean, I don't know if people recognize these numbers really. I mean, when you read these books and people talk about like 10,000 people or even just 1,000 people, 1,000 people is a lot of freaking people. So I mean,
yeah,
when he said 5,000 people, I'm like 5,000 dudes walking around with him. There's lodging requirements, they gotta eat, all that, et
yeah,
cetera, et cetera. I'm like 5,000 people up in your city walls. Can't have it.
yeah.
You can't have it, right? So
So someone just in or Zool just in chat was saying, "Oh, we're talking about set." Yeah, so it's pronounced set according to the audiobook, which I know Michael Kramer did get with Sanderson around the pronunciations for these. So that's how they pronounce it in the audiobook. I know it's
it is
spelled
set, yeah.
Cett, which makes you probably, if you read it, you'll say Chet or Chet or something like that, or
Yeah.
Ket. I don't know, but
So when
the
I
way
saw
they,
the spelling the first time, because I just happened to was writing down names, and I'm trying to get better about looking up the actual names as I write them down.
you have to be
What the
careful about
actual the spelling
that.
is, because usually I'll write down a name and not realize it's like I'm just going by the audio,
Hmm.
and that thing says set, and I sure enough thought it was like, oh, it's SETT, and I think it was
Yeah.
just CETT. I was like,
Oh,
oh, I thought that was like Chet from Weird Science,
yeah.
Anyway,
Yep.
set. That's the way they
Yeah.
say it, though. So,
That's
yeah.
it's spelled Cett in the book, but it's
Mm-hmm.
audiobook pronounces it set, which I'm guessing because I know Sanderson did work with Kramer on pronunciations, unlike Robert Jordan, who did not work with pronunciations for their Wheel of Time books, which is why you get Muggy Dean and not Maggedian.
Really?
Kate Redder, and she pronounces Maggedian in so many different ways. It's
Oh,
funny.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Where's Alondo looking these names up? Danger.
Hey, no, I'm not cheating though. I
Careful with
swear I'm
spoilers.
not
You don't want to
cheating.
Google too much stuff.
Yeah, no. Actually, there's a site I go to. What is it called? Coppermind.
You have to be
And
careful. There's tons of spoilers there.
I know, and it puts. I love the fact it puts the warning thing right up there. It's like, well, warning. Don't look here. And I was like, okay, I got it. But I was just looking up the it's like I
The
think it's
list
like
of
a
names.
yeah, it's a list of names. And
Yeah,
so
you can
when
go
I
and
go on
and you have to
there,
click on the links to actually get to the. Yeah, there's a
there you
whole list.
go. And so
Yeah,
I just look up the list of names just so I
yeah.
see how they're spelled.
That's a safe way of going about it. If don't click on the
Yeah,
name.
so yeah, that's all I do. Yeah, but I don't click on nothing beyond that because I figure it's gonna come up and be like, he ate his own brother. I'm like, oh crap, thanks.
Yeah, Copper Mine is full of spoilers. That's yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
but like I say, it does warn you. So at least
I love how the Phantom site's called Copper Mine too. Like Copper Mine from the books. Like tons of information like
there you
stored.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so this can't be happening. Ellen thought. I thought maybe Penrod would provide a challenge, but he's just taken back by all this.
What an
And
ass, by the way. I hate that dude.
Penrod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't like him at all. I like the dude that he recommended as being the I can't want to say prime minister, but it's not prime minister. I forgot the position title. Anyway, the other dude, whose name is escaping me right now. I didn't write it down, did I?
The Phil Ron or whatever his name was.
The dude who's been around for like a minute, and
Philin.
he's the one that nominated Ellen as.
That's Penrod.
No, wait. Okay, then I'm getting wrong. Then so
Philin is the merchant that was on that nominated Lord Set.
Okay.
So Philin's the merchant guy. Penrod's the older nobleman.
So I like Penrod.
Okay.
The older nobleman, yes.
Yeah.
Liked him too. So I just want to make sure I put that out there. He seemed like he was a good. He was a good noble person, which is the reason why Ellen was trying to do the play by like, I'm going to nominate him, and then he turned around and nominated him back.
Right. Which Breeze thought was genius.
Yeah, it is genius, but I mean, it's a dangerous game. I mean, this playing this Game of Thrones like this, you
Yep.
can easily get cut. So
Yeah. And
let's see
and
what
after
happens.
yeah, after the meeting, Penrod and Ellen have after they adjourn for 2 weeks, they have a little quick conversation back and forth where basically he's like, "You're not seriously going to sell out to a tyrant." And Penrod just like, "Listen, lad, you're a good man, but yeah."
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
pretty much what he says.
Yeah.
He says, "Look at them, lad. They're all terrified. Um, really, are we going to talk about freedom and justice when there's two armies preparing to slaughter all their families? Like,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
the Lord ruler system wasn't perfect, but it kept all the people safe."
Right.
That's kind of what he said. So yeah, and then the final part of this chapter, it's not a long chapter, is when I'm not gonna pronounce the guy's name, but the Lord Set's son, baby Set, kid Set,
Oh
uh,
yeah, kids.
get Nordian. I'm not sure the G is silent, but
I didn't write it down.
Gneorndin. It sounds like an Icelandic name. Uh,
Nice.
you should be good at pronouncing those, but no.
No,
take all
no, not even close.
take all the vowels out. Just put a bunch of
That's
consonants
right.
in it.
Uh-huh.
But,
That's right.
yeah. So Jordan, I guess, or Jordan. Anyway, he comes over and talks to Ella. It's like, hey, we want to have a private meeting, a dinner with you, and Ellen's first reaction is like, hell no, I'm not talking to him.
Hmm.
And he's like, oh, so you're going to entertain and meet with your father outside these walls and within your own walls, you're not going to? Like, and he's like, yeah, that's a point. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Dinner in 1 week.
And he told you up front he was gonna do that. He was
Yeah.
gonna have a meeting with all the lords and noblemen. Just show up. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What's
So
worse that can happen?
he agrees begrudgingly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And he wants to know about his sister being kidnapped too. He's like,
Yeah, kidnapped.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So how we kind of end this is, Ellen's being invited to have dinner.
Yep.
And we'll get to that later in a couple chapters. But anything from this chapter at all that we might have missed? I mean, it's Tendrils, of course, in the audience completely upset with Ellen and everything that he's doing because, well,
Right.
yeah.
The only other thing I was gonna mention though that was really sitting at the front of my mind reading this chapter, or listening to this chapter, was about how much emphasis they put on the fact that Vin is a misborn, and they really make it seem like she's got like this immense power and that she's gonna be like the
She
thing that
killed the Lord Ruler.
right. And so but yet and still she's still a mistborn, and then everyone
Right.
else has mistborns too. So they put so much I don't know, power in her hands, this reverence for her,
Mm-hmm.
because of that. But yet and still she's a mistborn just like anybody else. Now she's smart because she figured out how to defeat the Lord Ruler.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still, yeah, she has some extra powers,
Yeah.
some extra abilities, but they don't know that. They don't
Yeah.
know what those extra abilities are. Her ability to, penetrate, Copper Cloud.
Right.
They don't
And
know that
they
stuff.
don't know anything
So
about delirium and her
they
ability to
don't know
flare
any. Yeah,
metals. Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
do all that stuff. Yeah.
anyway, so I that part's still kind of interesting to me that they have this much reverence for her, and she's still a kid. I mean, well, she's what, 18
19
maybe.
maybe now at this point. But yeah, she's still young.
Right. So it's just kind of odd that they give her that much,
Yeah.
clout. And this is, of course, not everyone knows that they have no ATM. So maybe that's the reason why, is maybe they think they still have this like, hordes
Right.
of ATM sitting around. But yeah, but they give her a lot of sidewalk room. They like basically, oh yeah, you can own the sidewalk. Yeah, go ahead, do your thing. We're gonna give you this swath of reverence because you're just amazing. But they still don't really know what her capabilities are. So I find it interesting.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you ready for chapter 33?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's
So
go.
Vin's laying in her stomach, arms folded, resting, studying a sheet of paper. She's still trying to figure out more about the deepness and about her being maybe the hero of ages and things like that. She
Mm-hmm.
keeps on hearing that term. And Will, you missed this last couple of weeks, but Will's convinced that this is true, that Vince figured this out, that she is the hero of ages. I didn't know what your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts were on that, but that was Will's thoughts, that she is. Um,
I feel like it's a little. I feel like it's really obvious.
sure.
Easy pick to say that she is.
Right.
Um, I feel like there's probably something else going on there, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not ready to anoint her yet. That's my feelings.
Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, the last book we did bring this up last time is called "The Hero of Ages" so,
Mm-hmm.
on the
Mm-hmm.
trilogy. So
Yeah.
we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's going through a bunch of stuff, and then she turns and starts talking to Asir a bit more. Her Chandra about prophecies and legends and foretellings, and then just wanting to know more about Chandra. I mean, we're getting all these little tidbits here and there,
Right.
but
And is this the point in time that she offers and says if you want to change bodies? Is this right now
that
or is
was a
that later?
previous chapter
Previous chapter?
too. Yeah, it
Okay.
was a previous chapter where she
Okay.
did that. Yeah,
Gotcha. All
but she
right.
might have done it again. But he
All right.
says no. Um,
Right.
yeah, yeah. I mean, she gives him a hard time, like hey, you're still a person, even if you have a dog breath. You know.
She is aligning herself so much more with him. Like the
Hmm.
whole little moment where he's sitting near her and she like instinctively just like puts her hand down, starts scratching behind the ears.
Yeah.
Um, it's like that, how much closeness they are building, and it's just like just like a unconscious thing. It's just like, oh, just this thing. I just gonna go ahead and just like scratch his ears or whatever, and they just are aligning so much more now. He's really becoming a confidant to her, and I like seeing that because
Right.
yeah, there are some things that are contractual there, and there's some hostility there and anger, et cetera. But I mean, still, it's like it's now going beyond a contract, and I'll be honest, Orsier is the one that I would be the most upset about if something happened to him.
Oh.
Because I feel like he's come a long way. Went from being the person who was like educating her and making her a better, lady of the court or whatever you want to call that. And now he's serving in a different capacity, is basically like an assistant or right hand man. And it's just interesting how, that dynamic changed, but yet and still, they just continue to get closer and closer
Right.
and closer. And now I feel like those two are like nearly inseparable.
Yeah.
And I love seeing that relationship. So
Yeah.
good stuff.
And this is where we actually dig a little. I mean, like I said, I love how Sanderson does this, but every time you have these conversations, you get a little bit more about Contra. And she
Yeah.
calls him out. The Contras have a religion, don't they? And he just quickly turns his head away. He's like, they do. So do the
Yeah.
keepers know
Yeah.
about it? And she's like, I should not have spoken. It's like, okay, so you have your own prophecies, don't you? Okay, so let me guess. It's when we're all gone, right? And it's like, or when you're not subject to us.
Right.
And that's what it was. It's like when you're not subject to us, the contract doesn't exist anymore. It's like something like that. And he's like, so when the humans are subject to you, it's like, no, when they're all dead.
Yeah. When they're all
Like,
gone. Yep.
It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's like, well, humans dead. How do we die off? The contract can't kill us. And it's like, of course not. We honor our contract as if it is our religion. And he says something really interesting here. The stories say that you'll kill yourselves off. You are of ruin, after all, while Khandra are of preservation. You're supposed to destroy the world, I believe, using the Colus as your pawns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, these are all prophecies,
Yep.
so you can only take them with a grain of salt, essentially. But yeah, I mean that relates to what we do right now in our current predicament
Yeah.
on Earth right now. Shoot, give us an opportunity, man. we already destroy our land like quickly and like whatever for love of greed and money and whatever. So yeah, sure,
Yeah,
checks
good
out.
point, Zul. Because you read the Audible or you're doing the Audible, you don't see it. Both ruin and preservation are both capitalized in this as well, which is
Oh,
interesting.
really? Okay.
Yep.
That's interesting. I'm glad you guys said something about that. I did,
Yeah,
yeah, because I didn't know that.
because if you don't read the book, you don't see that. But
No,
yeah,
I did. I
yeah,
don't know that stuff. So yeah.
hmm
Okay.
yeah. Um, so the Conjure also said they think well of Kolos, and Vince kind of taken back by that. I was like, what? It's like, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
spoke too much.
Yeah, the meat bags.
Yeah, we all need. He says, and
Yeah,
Vin kind of
damn it.
just chucks up. We all need secrets. Whatever. Just always know the secret.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we kind of end this conversation. But it's a nice little conversation back and forth here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and there's that speaks of a bond between the Conjure and the Kolos. It does speak of that before shutting up real fast and saying that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll find out
Uh,
more.
yeah.
Read and find out.
Rapho.
Raffo.
Any thoughts or anything about that, or
Nothing else to
nothing in your
add
notes? Okay.
right now. I
Okay.
mean, I just make sure I'm not missing something in my notes, but
Sure.
no, not about that conversation. I got some notes
Okay.
about later in the chapter, but yeah,
Okay.
nothing about that.
Yep. The next part is when Ellen says about the water being poisoned.
Yeah.
Or Vin brings it up. I think. Well, does it Vin brings it
Vin
up?
brings it up,
And then he's
and
like,
then
"Yeah,
Ellen's
I
like,
already
"Yep,
knew about
yep,
it."
we know about that." And it's like,
Uh,
"Oh shoot! Well, you could have told somebody."
and he says something like, "I thought I already told you about it," or something like that. And she's like, "No." It's like, "I swear I told you."
Yeah.
And I guess they're both under a lot of stress right now. So,
Sure.
yeah, they said, "Well, we'll set guards at the wells," kind of thing. But Breeze did the same thing to him, so I'm not surprised. um, yeah, and Ellen has Hammond provide soldiers to assist for just the ill, the people getting sick from the water.
Right. Right.
And at that point, that's when Vin and Osir go back to the Palace Library to investigate the possibility of Doxin being replaced by Condra.
Yeah.
So she goes and has,
Which
yeah.
I gotta admit right now, that it has been on my mind about Docs, only because I feel like it's like, what's his purpose right now? I mean, going into the end of the last book, his purpose was really defined, etc., etc. Right now, I feel like his purpose is a little more amorphous. So I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you really? What are you doing? What are you providing to the group? What's your angle? What's your agenda right now? And so when she brought him up, and I was like, yeah, okay, I feel like this is gonna be the thing where it's like it's locked in that he's like the problem. He's been killed, etc., etc. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens. Yeah.
Well, she has this conversation with him that convinces Vin that definitely is that he's not the Contra. Because this conversation they pulls up like 2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, she
And
brings
it's
the
like,
conversation. And she's like, "Oh yeah, he knows about and she was talking about the emotional response,
right.
which
Yeah.
that part made me feel like, okay, we start talking about the emotional response, and
Mhm.
we know about how Orsia responds
Mhm.
to it's a very matter of fact response to the things that are brought up. And the
Right.
fact there's emotion brought into it, because even when she had the conversation with him, he was like, he kind of was like, "Why do you want to talk about that?" That kind of thing. It was like that kind of attitude when she was talking with Doxson, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff that a person does. It's like, okay, well, this is painful, or I don't want to go back and revisit that memory or
Yeah.
whatever. And I was like, yeah, in that moment, I was like, okay, that doesn't even check out. So
Yeah. But Doxson was even questioning Vin because Vin says something along the lines like Kelsier even came around at the end there about nobles, and Doxson's like, I can't believe that. He's like, no, he saved Ellen's life, like because he knew I loved him.
That's right. She did say that. Yep.
And Doxson's like, I refuse to believe that.
Right.
And he's like, I hear what you're saying. I'm just not going to believe it because then it turns back everything that I've done, like puts it back on, like that I've done some horrible things, to people.
Yeah. Right.
in my belief, and I need to hold to that belief that I was just in what I did. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't go down that rabbit hole that that I'm not just in that, even though he does admit that he's come around a little bit to nobility at this point. I realize that they're not all bad as he was 2 years ago, where they're all deserve to die.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it says, because if I accept that Ellen bears no guilt for what my people did to mine, I must admit being a monster for the things I did to them. And that's where Vin thinks this man's no imposter. She saw the guilt in his eyes.
Yeah, but it and that really though it's kind of a naive statement to make, though. I mean,
Sure.
you can't just throw a blanket statement out there and be like, okay, well, they're either all bad or they're not all bad, which means I shouldn't do anything bad to them. There's bad amongst them, and that doesn't mean that the stuff he did wasn't justified.
Yeah.
I got no problem with that personally. I'm like, okay, well, if he went out and did some bad things to a few of them because they're terrible people, then yeah, I mean, again, we continue to, and it continues to unfold even in these next few chapters, the atrocities and the things that are happening here.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, you probably need to kill some of these people. They probably deserved it.
Sure.
Yeah, I understand. People kind of coming around to like, okay, well, they're not all bad. Yeah, the world is pretty gray. It's not black and white, but yet and still, there still is pure evil.
Sure.
And pure evil deserves, basically to have to deal with the ramifications of the atrocities they commit, right? Which means, at some point in time, the Reaper is going to come calling. So get ready. Yeah. I got no problem with Doxy going out and doing the evil. He's like, I got to take you out. I hope he doesn't feel too bad about what he did.
Yeah. And of course, she immediately after this goes back to Osir and is like, it's not him. I questioned him. I know. And Osir's just like, yeah, Conjure are pretty good. like
I don't think he's that. See, he said that, and I was like, I don't buy that, because I mean, Osir has never done anything so far that hasn't come off as being, matter of fact representation of like, what this person is like. But I feel like the pushback that Doxson gave is enough to say, yeah, no, he's legit, because I don't think Conjure worked that way. I don't get the impression Conjure worked that way where they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to give you pushback or whatever when they're playing the role of the deceiver.
Right.
So,
yeah. Whoever he is merely following his contract. Yes, mistress. She says the contract. And it's like, is there any way that you could find out if there's a contract with the contract, Luthadel? And he says, no, that's not possible. He's like, I figured that much. He said the Conjure are a close-knit group. And she's like, well, maybe you can spot one. Yeah, she kind of just goes, yeah, well, I still don't think it's Doxson. And as they're having this conversation, she notices a figure kind of like making its way through like the courtyard or whatever, like hiding in the shadows. And she's like, all right, who's that? And puts two together. It's Captain Demu. And it immediately starts thinking, like, that makes the most sense. He's Hammond's number 2 guy. He's not, like, quite in the circle, but he's close enough that he can get everything. And she's kind of now stuck on Captain Demu as being the spy. That's kind of how we...
Right.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, this sounds like a plot device.
Okay.
The whole time this thing was being explained, she was like, "Oh yeah, Demu," because he was the one that survived after the
attack.
After the attack, yes. And this sounds like a plot device an author uses, where it's like, remember that dude that I mentioned from back in the day that you have not heard me talk about for like 20-some chapters? Guess what? Now he's the person you should have been suspecting the whole time. It's like, okay, that's just cheap. Come on, you didn't say he was in the background the whole time. It's not like he was like, they were like sitting there like enumerating all the people in the room, and it's like, oh yeah, and he was in the corner. He was drinking water the whole time. You're like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, if that's the case.
Yeah. So at this point, do you have a theory about who it might be? I know that's not your favorite plot line right now.
Oh, no. Yeah. I stand by the fact that I think this plot line is just boring to me. I mean, the idea of who this conjurer is. I mean, unless the conjurer turns out to be like someone like of importance,
Yeah.
really, because this is what I suspected would happen. Is there's going to be somebody kind of obscure, and which is the reason why I rolled my eyes when it was
Okay.
like, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, the guy, okay, sure, whatever. But she's like slowly eliminating all these people, and I mean, it's more interesting when you have to think about the fact that she has placed trust in somebody, and
Sure.
one of these people has died.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. The fact that she's like eliminated all these people and is like, okay, well, odds are this is a obscure person, whatever. I'm like, I have less interest in it now. We'll
Okay.
see how it works out, but right
Okay.
now I'm just kind of like, Watch us
So-
be like, oh, it was the chambermaid, and I'll be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Turns out to be Ellen. Turns out to be Ellen.
Yeah, see, if it's Ellen, that's different. Now we're talking about something.
No,
you know?
no,
But
I'm excited.
if they come back around and it's like, oh, it was actually the sous chef, I'm like, oh, whatever.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It was soldier number 5. Like not number
Soldier
1, 2, 3, or
5,
4. It's
that's right.
number 5. The guy that was, just sitting there. He had sandy
was the one-
hair.
They kept saying he picks his nose every so often. I'm like, that guy.
that guy. Yeah,
Nose
that
Picker
guy.
Jones. I forgot about him. Oh,
good times.
that's right.
So that's how we end this chapter with her just thinking it's Demir now. She's kind of just bouncing back and forth and like, oh, it has to be this person. Oh, it has to be this person. So
yeah, and she locks in so hard every time.
She's also 19, 18 years
yeah, well,
old.
that's true. But she
that's,
locks
that's
in
what
so
an 18-year-old, 19-year-old does.
You're right.
I mean,
You're right. You were
100%.
absolutely right. She's like, oh, it's definitely him. It's like, you would be the worst person at Clue, my lady.
Yeah. Horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of person you want to play Clue against because you can just play hook, line, sinker, just put them on different. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's him, she thought, the spy. But now what is she going to do about it? That's how we end the chapter.
Right. It's like, what are you going to do? I mean, especially since she doesn't even know him that well. What's she going to do?
Yep.
Because it's not like he's an he doesn't have any allomancy, capabilities or anything. So it's like,
right.
Does she have like some deep-seated conversation she's had with him and she can like go and like test him with? No. I mean, I guess she can go ask him about the emotional roller coaster it was to almost be like decimated in this attack that occurred.
Sure.
But other than that, what is she gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Yep.
We'll see
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, chapter 34.
Yes, let's go. Yeah.
Start with Ellen's point of view. So that won't work, Ellen said, shaking his head. We need a unanimous decision, minus the person being ousted, of course, in order to depose a member of the assembly. So we start with lots of talk about. So it's Ellen, Hammond, Sazed, and Tendril, and a formal obligator with them named Norden. And they're perusing books. They're trying to plan a strategy to deal with the assembly, and try to figure out how to keep Set from being appointed king. And Ellen kind of thinks it's inevitable that Set will be appointed.
Right.
And that maybe he should have allied with Set earlier, and which seems that's an unpopular opinion with the group that they're with. But
yeah. So they're trying to look for the loopholes, which he wrote, which Ellen wrote.
Yeah.
I mean, so that seems interesting. By the way, wasn't the obligator like wearing glasses or something to try to obscure the tattoos around his eyes or something like that?
Yeah,
Or am I getting
so.
that confused? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool thing to remind us about because we forget about how many tattoos and
he wore large. He wears large spectacle to try to hide the tattoos.
Okay, yeah. So, which I thought was cool to keep bringing that back because that's something that was really emphasized heavily in the beginning of the first book, and it's something you kind of forget about it if it's not brought to your attention. They go through a lot to it ain't as much as Inquisitor, but still, they got tattoos all over the face and all that. So sure,
Ellen's just worried. Set's more accomplished in the game than other people are. I mean, it's just going to be really hard to outmaneuver him. He's been doing this for too long. He's
Oh yeah.
too well polished, and not necessarily polished his ways. His talking, just ruling and being able to just muscle things out his entire life.
Yeah.
And it's just and they're just trying to figure out any kind of loophole they can.
Yeah, but he's got age and maturity, and
right.
He knows how to sway a crowd. So because I mean, the guy came in, he basically stood up in a friggin' assembly, and like just kind of made his presence so known, and that alone is enough to have people just like scratching their heads, like, maybe he should be in charge because he's got that swagger. So yeah, the idea of going back and trying to figure out some way to like loophole your way out of it, I just don't see a lot right now.
Right. Yeah. And they're pointing through the law books that Ellen wrote, and he even asked Norden about the laws, and he's like, what do you think about it? It's like, yeah, they're brilliant. That's great. He's like, do you think Set will respect the laws? And he's like, no.
Of course not.
Of course not.
No.
He doesn't care about that. He would bring only chaos, Ellen said. Basically just go back to a normal.
Which I don't feel like that's true. I mean, I feel like that's a thing that somebody says when they're scared that their way of life is going to be upended. It's going to seem like chaos to you.
Right.
He's going to probably have everything reset to what it was like before, which isn't chaos. It's just going to be, counter to your beliefs of how everything should be run. But I think it's going to be like basically back to this, like, we'll call it a feudal system of some sort. But yeah, when you said chaos, I was like, it's not going to be chaos. It's just going to be back to a norm that you don't want to align with.
Right.
So,
yeah. And Saze's advice to him, as they're going through this is, hey, just stick to your own opinion. Don't try to please the people. As is trying to guess what the people will wish for will only lead to chaos. I think you cannot please them all. Alan Venture is what
that's true.
Which is it's a really thing that I think a lot of and I'm not trying to get political, but a lot of elected officials tend to forget. When you're elected to represent people, you're elected to represent, not try to appease every single constituent, because you can't.
Yeah, you have to perform at the will of the majority of the people, right?
You do, but you also have to make tough decisions and make things that are for the best, whether or not that's what is a popular opinion or not.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's different theories as far as how to rule, and one of them is my dad, for example, he was on our local city council for years and years and years ago, and like one of the controversial things that he voted against, he was the only vote against it, was when they outlawed smoking at Little League games. That parents weren't allowed to smoke cigarettes in the Little League game. And his argument on why he voted against it was not because he's for parents being able to smoke at Little League games. His argument was like, are we really going to waste city resources and putting cops and arresting parents at Little League games? Like it was more of a financial mindset than anything else. Like
resource usage. Sure.
Is it worth it to try to enforce something like that? Like, and are you really going to arrest Billy's dad? At the Little League game,
I don't know.
This was a different time as well. I mean, obviously now it'd be a lot more socially acceptable to do that kind of stuff, but then it wasn't, kind of thing.
But I mean, going on that same line of thinking, I remember when I worked for a politician for 10 years, and I remembered having to go to council and listen to the arguments when this is when it was like coming up, that it was like they were going to start outlawing smoking in all restaurants,
right,
and bars. This is after New York was the first state that said, hey, you know what, we're basically killing our service people because they're like getting all this secondhand smoke, and they have no choice in the matter. So even though they're like healthy and whatever else, they still haven't be subjected to smoke. And so that was
plot twist. I've worked in restaurants. All the cooks and servers smoke. So
true. That's absolutely true. But there are the minority of people that weren't.
There are.
but they were subjugated to it. And I remember that was the same argument. Then they were like, "Oh, well, so you're gonna have like all these people go out and have to police all of these restaurants, etc." And I was like, "Yeah, that's a good argument. I mean, who's gonna be able to enforce that? Are you gonna go around and have everybody's restaurant checked every day for like violators, etc., etc.? Yeah, how do you do that?"
Yeah.
So, of course, nowadays it's all like, can you imagine somebody right now be just breaking out cigarettes at a little league game and just be like, puff, puff, and
yeah. Nowadays it'd be completely frowned upon.
You'd be like, what the hell's wrong with you?
This would have been like late 80s, early 90s, and a completely different time, which was
it's like smoking in a restaurant. You'd be like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Exactly.
This is a Ruby Tuesdays. Why are you smoking here?
Yeah, I mean, but you think about it, wasn't that long ago? Like you listen here in Virginia, that like restaurants are still smoking.
Yeah, it was like I want to say about 16 years ago. Is when they started trying to put all that stuff together. I think it was about 16 years ago.
Yeah,
maybe more. But yeah, it was like crazy that at the time it was like they thought that you couldn't smoke in a restaurant. People were like, what? And now it's like, go in a restaurant, even a vape pen, take a vape in a restaurant. People be like, you gotta get that crap out of here right now.
Things have changed. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Than it was a couple of years ago. So obviously that's Saze's advice to him, that to take your own opinion to heart. Don't try to please all the people. And that kind of ends that conversation.
Will.
Yeah,
you're never gonna please all the people. I don't care what you do.
Yeah. Then we switch to later. Vin's watching Ellen scribble. Sazed sat reading, and as one of Ellen's scribes, the obligator. As one of the scribes. And this is where they have. I'm trying to think what the conversation is here. She's watching Demu.
Right.
Yeah. So any thoughts from all this next conversation? I mean, Sazed, let's say, Your Majesty, I find no holes in your laws. I've read them much times. And yeah, he's like, I feared this much. You're a good man, Your Majesty. If I'd seen a hole in the wall, you would have fixed it. So basically,
but this is when. So I found this interesting though. So this is when the little strife comes up, because this is so Tinwell is like, wait a minute, Sazed saw the laws, and she like comes at Sazed.
Yeah.
And Ellen is like, don't you come at my boy.
My boy. Yeah. I was gonna get to that. Yeah. It's like,
so like, this whole
you either apologize to Sazed right now, or you can get up and leave. And she's like,
bye.
Right, bye.
I was like, damn. That whole interaction, I was like, what just happened right now? Number one, I didn't know Sazed was involved in all this, but it makes sense. I mean, he does have, the mind of all this information. But geez, I still don't understand why, number one, why she was so upset that he was involved. I mean, of course, it comes up later, about all the things about him being so overtly involved in this rebellion, and how they wanted to be like, sideline folks. I get all that, but man, when she was like, he was involved, and she was like throwing shade, and Ellen's like, no, not in my house. And she's like, she just like gets up and leaves. I'm like, all right. Yeah.
And even
interesting dynamics.
You don't have to do that for me. And like, and I was like, no one's going to disrespect my friends in front of me. I don't care who you are. And then of course then Ellen placates Vin, which Ellen, I thought more about the deepness. That's wonderful, Vin, but I really don't have time for that right now. I don't really have time for your little thing right now.
He's really changing his tune about the way he interacts with her. You see it slowly, I'm gonna say, devolving. He had this I want to say reverence for her. Maybe that's the wrong term, but no, it was reverence, because she's a Mistborn. It's a reverence, and I feel like now he's like slowly it's just getting diminished slowly over time, and it's like, well, what does that do to their relationship too?
Yeah.
Because she's already crazy insecure, which I know we're about to get to.
Right.
About how
Oh, sure.
he doesn't understand how insecure she really is. But yeah, it's like she's already insecure, and now he has less reverence for her, which is going to make her even more insecure. Yeah, so it's going to just continue to create this divide between the two of them.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, and then pretty much just tells her, it's like, hey, you going back on patrol now? She's like, I guess. Yeah. She's like, well, why don't you go check out Cape Hastings? Because Seth's defense is over there. Just go check that out. She's like, all right, fine. And she's thinking to herself the entire time, like, he doesn't need me anymore. He's just, yeah. And she's, of course, beating herself up.
Yeah.
Yeah. About all this. So, and her brother's voice comes back in her head.
Yeah, which hadn't happened in a long time. So
even
that
first
was
it will hurt
interesting.
less.
Yep. And but every time his voice comes up, for the most part, I mean, I could be mistaken, but it's almost always like, run, get away. These people don't care about you. They're going to betray you. Betray them before, you can be betrayed. It's that kind of, negative thinking that usually occurs. And then the same thing happens here. It's like, oh, well, you're not good enough for him. You should, get out while you can, because it's not going to end well. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
it's been a while since Reen's voice popped in her head, but
it's been a long time. So in fact, it was actually kind of shaking to me that it came up.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, wait, that hasn't happened in a long time. So
yeah.
But I think it's because the insecurities are, really starting to rise up in her again in a way that hasn't happened in a long, long time.
Sure.
Poor thing. Poor thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she heads off to keep Hastings. And she gets there, and almost immediately she finds someone that she recognizes. It's like, Zane, hey, how are you? And he just looks at her and doesn't say anything. He's like, and Vin turns to Zane, how have you been? And he just turns and attacks.
Yep. She's
like, fine, I guess we'll spar then. And realize real fast, this isn't a spar.
Oh no! No,
like he's coming to kill.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, goes full on.
Yeah.
Burning ATM. She's pretty much helpless because
because he's like, he pulled out the glass daggers. He's like ready to go.
She pulled out her knives, but then she could tell he was burning ATM because she was moving ways that predicting her
everything was
slashes.
it was barely missing him. Stuff like that, and she's like, oh, okay, yeah, I got nothing for this.
Yeah. And then
she was thinking she's about to get killed. I mean, about that, to that level, she thought it was like, this is gonna be like the end of her, kind of thing. So because she's like, I've got nothing. She's like, he's burning ATM. I got nothing right now. So what's she gonna do?
But then he stops, and she's just, what? He's like, you really don't have it.
He's like, you really don't have any
ATM. She's like, no, I burned a lots of it with Seth's essence. And he goes, all right, well, I'm not going to kill you if you don't have ATM. It's like, a little bit honor there or whatever. He's like, yeah, I guess in Zane's head, it's like, my father wants me to kill you. He sent me here.
Yeah, he's like, Papa wants me to kill you. And, oh, by the way, I'm also half brother to Ellen. So just in case you wanted to know that noise, here you go. Yeah. All kinds of information.
Drop a couple of bombshells. Just basically like, so you learn a lot about what's going on. And then also, while this is happening, this is also Zane's point of view. So you have God whispering in his head, brings up Ellen. It's like, kill him. God whispered. So,
yeah, I still, this whole craziness that Zane's got going on in his head. I'm just like, I feel like there's a lot more there we don't understand. So,
and Zane kind of makes a proposal. He says, hey, how about this? I can still kind of honor my dad's wishes, take you out of the
Right.
equation. We just run away together, on that
Right.
one.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's when she's like, but Ellen, she's like, why do you care about him so much? Like, and that's when she brings up, I'm related to him, kind of thing,
We're kind of bros,
brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Vin's like, you hate him. Hate? No. Why would I hate the man for what he is? Ellen did nothing to me, not directly.
Right.
And he says about how he grew up and that kind of stuff. And Vince says, I'm sorry. He says, don't pity me, woman. If I were Ellen, and I wouldn't be misborn. You wouldn't understand the mist. You understand me. They'll never understand us. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Edge Lord. Yeah.
Edge Lord. Yes, because I always think that every time Zane shows up, I think I've told you this before in a previous episode. I just imagine him doing the flip of the emo kids from South Park. I'm not like the other kids, and
I'm not
wearing
like
a black trench coat.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and by the way, I still don't buy this. And love triangle is legitimate, but then illegitimate. Oh, you see, and great questions, though. I don't buy it. So I'm dead honest. I don't buy it. I don't. I get it that it's like, they're both misborn. I get it. And it's a whole alignment. It's like, well, no one understands me like he understands me. But I just, there's nothing that I see about the two of them having a chemistry that makes it obvious that they should be together or even should have any type of attraction to each other. Now, Zane being attracted to her, sure, I can get that.
Yeah.
The other way around, though, I don't know. I don't even buy it for a millisecond of Vin being attracted to him, other than the fact that he is kind of a replacement father figure in terms of a mentor capacity after Kelsier. That's about the only thing I think of there. So if the writing is trying to suggest a love triangle, I feel like that part is pretty weak. Just to be honest with you, especially with the fact that he's kind of crazy. He hasn't really shown any type of like true compassion. He knows nothing about her. He doesn't know anything about her backstory, what she's been through, growing up on the streets, etc., etc. Kelsier did.
Yeah.
She talked to Kelsier about that stuff. And so, there was like this like sharing that was going on there. Zane is just like, oh, you're a misborn. We should be together. Let's run off together. And I'm like, wait, that's the weakest damn reason to tell a chick is like, oh yeah, let's just go off and be together because we're kind of aligned. That's the same thing if I saw a woman with the same shirt as me. And I was like, hey,
we're meant to be together.
we shop at the same Kohl's. Let's go ahead and let's go be together. No, it doesn't work that way. So.
Yeah, that's not how it works. No.
Sorry, Brandon Sanderson. I'm not trying to knock your writing. I'm just saying if that's what you're trying to set up, I feel like it needs to be a little bit more thoroughly fleshed out.
Well, maybe Zane's just crazy. He's
definitely crazy. We know that for a fact.
Yeah, true.
That goes without saying.
Yeah, and this is also where Zane drops the bomb about the Kolos only being a day away, and that all of the refugees are coming into the city.
See, there's the takeaway. The fact that close, though.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there. See, because that is like, I mean, what chaos does that throw into the mix? I mean, you have these two armies that are being civil,
right?
Because of agendas and etc. But these Kolos, these meat bags come up and what if it's a Cosmere shirt though? Maybe a Black Panther shirt.
Maybe Black Panther shirt. It might be instant.
Maybe. No.
So yeah, and that was the big bombshell at the end. Basically, is like Zane's like, yeah, so I came to warn you with these two things. The Kolos army's coming, and my dad wants me to kill you. So if you don't run away with me, just letting you know I'm your enemy now, and I need to kill you. So
right,
there's your warning. Yeah.
He ain't gonna do nothing. Zane, what's he gonna do? He ain't gonna do nothing. He ain't gonna kill her. I mean, yeah, he's got ATM, etc., but he ain't gonna do it.
Okay.
I mean, because he was already like, having like the whole, what do you call that? When you have the dual personality, kind of, talking in your head kind of thing. Yeah, thank you. When he was talking to his dad and getting the order, when his dad was already like, "Hey, you need to go kill this girl," and he was already having the schizophrenic talk in the head at the time in the tent when he's talking to Pops. Yeah, like, you're not gonna do anything. I mean, because his head, guy behind the scenes wants him to kill his own brother and kill his dad. He doesn't care about freaking killing like her.
What's the difference between God talking in his head and your brother Reen talking in your head?
Oh, mind blown. I didn't think about that. I mean, because I think of Reen as being like her like subconscious, basically talking to her and being like, "Hey, let's put up these defensive mechanisms to make sure we don't get hurt."
Okay.
Versus
kill them all.
Zane is like, he's got somebody who's like, kill him. And I'm like, okay. See, there's a difference there. There's a difference to me.
Sure. So anything else from this chapter for me to the final chapter for tonight?
No. We're good. We're good so far. We're all in alignment.
Chapter 35.
35.
So Vin's trying on her new gown, her new Mistborn gown.
Which
has pockets. Any gown that has pockets. My daughter, who's 3 years old, will tell you if the dress doesn't have pockets, she doesn't want it. So
look,
it has
let me tell you this. There's a whole, and for all my ladies out there, I am so glad I have got included into this about 2 years ago. I didn't realize how crappy the clothing is that is made for women because it has no pockets. And if it does have pockets, it's tiny little pockets that basically you put like a tube of lipstick in or something nonsense like that. And then I was like, when my wife educated me on this, even further, and I was like, why the hell don't they give you pockets? And she was like, I don't know. She's like, it makes no sense. She's like, I have to like put my phone in my purse. I got to put it like in a backpack or something like. And I was like, they can't give you just a freaking pocket big enough to put a phone. Nope. They won't do it. No, so again, I'm all for women having pockets. All right, let's not make it gender specific. There's like pockets only meant for men. Give it to the ladies, please. Give it to the ladies,
give them
pockets. When I heard pockets for the ladies and the Mistborn ladies, go. I'm like applauding.
To hide her daggers in. She has a secret, places to hide her daggers and everything.
Pockets, yes, let's do it. Pockets for the ladies, please. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. It's the pockets make clothes less form fitting.
It ain't about form fitting. It's about giving these ladies some storage space, please.
Exactly. Please.
Yeah. That's right.
So anyway, she feels like she's going to a ball again. It kind of feels that way at least.
Right.
And they're getting ready to head over to meet with Set. So that's what this whole chapter is around.
Yes.
Let's see. An author often wants a voice in your own head to be stronger than your own. Could use the tool too.
That's a good point. That's actually used as a literary tool a lot. I mean, across all genres. Where you have like the voices in your head. We have voices that speak to us all the time. Subconscious voices, or maybe it's just like something that somebody said to you like years ago or whatever. And they're resounding voices, but we don't like go out and say it to somebody. So when you hear it in a book, you're like, you do all this analysis. But it is what it is. We all have voices in our heads. I mean,
reminds me of this TikTok video I saw not too long ago. It was like a little boy that's on the edge of a cliff, and the little girl turns to her mom and is like, "What if someone just pushed that boy off the cliff?" And the mom goes, "Those are intrusive thoughts, and we don't say those out loud, honey."
Which is true. We've all been there. We have
those are
seen
intrusive thoughts, and we don't say those out loud.
Yep. It's like if you see a bratty kid just acting a daggone fool or something like that, like, you know, just being a jerk or something like that. And as an adult, you're like, you know, I could just go over and just hit that kid. That kid would be crying.
It's called an intrusive thought. You don't.
It's an intrusive thought.
You don't say them out loud.
Do that. You don't hit children.
You don't say it out loud.
You don't hit children like that. Yes, don't say it out loud. You know, don't write fan fiction about beating up children.
Yeah, kids will say anything. Yes, kids will say anything. That is
they do.
Truth.
I haven't watched America's Funniest Videos in like 10 years, but for some reason today I watched it and I was like, oh, kids say some crazy things, man. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I digressed a lot. Let's move on.
So we're getting ready for Tindrell also gives some states that Ellen must stand, try to stand on his own without assistance, and gives a little bit of I guess pointers to both Vin and to Ellen going in. So and Vin even, this is when Vin talks about how Ellen's been different towards her, and Tindrell's like, yeah, he has. He's becoming a man. Mm-hmm. He simply didn't know the path. Now he knows his path, so it's a hard one. A man can only stumble for so long, and he either falls or stands up straight. That's what Tindrell says. Yeah,
right.
Some good little lines there. And Vin says, are you coming with us tonight? And Tindrell says, not my place. Now go meet your king. So they get ready to head out to go to keep Hastings. There's a little bit more talk, I guess, with Breeze and things like that. Anything from all these conversations before we get to the actual?
No, I'll be honest with you. A lot of this, I barely remembered anything from that. It didn't really resonate with me. It was just like, just kind of set up, for the main attraction. So
so they get the carriers, they're heading over there, and this is when I think Vin drops the bombshell that he's definitely misborn. And Ellen's like, no, he's not. Like, I've known his entire life, he's always been a cripple. Like, he's not. He's not misborn. He's like,
and she's not explaining it well about why.
Yeah,
I mean, even though we have her inner monologue about it, we don't really understand why she's so convinced. As much as she's like, he's a handicapped person, so he's got to be misborn. It's like, sure, explain, and we're not really getting an explanation from her. So,
so that's pretty much it on the ride over. And he shows up, and you're late. He called it to Ellen, so I started without you. They're eating some chicken. Got some drumsticks. And they arrive and go straight to it. Where Ellen's just not eating his food, and he's like, "Yeah, it's really good food. You should try some of this." And Ellen just wants down to business. Like, why do you want to speak to me? You won't convince me to vote for you. He's like, "Is it about your daughter?" He's like, "Oh no, keep her. I don't care about her."
I liked the reveal that he was like, oh, Breeze ain't that kind of dude with the ladies. She seduced him.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, he came hard.
Like you don't think I noticed that you sent one of your own, one of the Kelsier's own crew members? Like, you don't think I recognized him and knew?
Right.
Like, of course I knew. It's like, yet you listened to him. It's like,
yeah, again, he's like, I've been around the block a long time, young bucks.
Yeah. It's like, I kept him around on purpose. Like, why not keep him close to me? Let him keep on beating, giving me information. Thinking that I don't know, the farce going on. And of course, Ellen's still not eating his food. He's like, do you think I'm trying to poison you? And he's like, no, it's pretty obvious you're not. I mean, you wouldn't use poison if you're trying to kill me. And it's like, yeah. And he says, you said yourself, you're a rather honest man yourself. He's like, I'm not honest. I'm just blunt. There's a difference.
Yeah. By the way, interestingly, brought up the poison thing again after what happened with Strath. I was like, okay, because there was that whole little poison thing. And then it's like it's come back around again. I'm like, all right. I don't know if this is foreshadowing or what's going on with the whole poison thing, but now it's just twice it's come up, and I'm like, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and it also asked him something. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something around the lines of, him being king. Have you ever doubted yourself? And Ellen's like, of course I am. Haven't you? And he's like, no.
No. He's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never
I have never scratched my balls. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, come on, dude. Really? Come on. You have never doubted yourself. And of course, what he's saying is, I have never admitted it to anybody.
Yeah.
That's my inner dialogue. I'm not telling you. I'm not telling anybody. That's just for me to know. Stay in your lane, kid. That's exactly what that statement was.
Yeah. And even at one point he turns to Vin. He's like, no comment from the Mistborn. And she goes, you swear a lot. And you're not supposed to do that in front of ladies. He's like,
oh, yeah.
He's like, I don't give a crap what it's like what people do at Lindell.
Shoot.
Yeah. Just being super crude.
Which is fine. That's his right. He's gotten to a certain age. He's just like, I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna talk.
Yeah, he said, and Ellen's like, so what will happen if you do take win the throne? He goes, honest answer, and Ellen's like, yes. He goes, well, first thing I'll do is I'll assassinate you.
Yep. Boom.
Can't have old king sticking around. That's just
that's right.
It's like, what if I step down? And he's like, step down. Well, if you step down and vote for me and leave town, I'll let you live.
And leave town.
Yeah.
Notice you got to get on the horse and you got to leave.
It's like in the assembly, I'm dissolved. Their liability. I don't want anything to do with this.
Gone.
Yeah. Gone.
Yeah.
And it's like the assembly gives the people power. That's what the government, that's what a government should provide. Surprisingly, Seth didn't laugh at that comment.
You really think he was gonna?
Yeah. And he's, I guess he goes to leave, and that's when he says, says sit back down and talk some more. But anything from those conversations? I mean, you pull anything out? I mean, towards the end, we get to more of the breeze part, but the first part where they're kind of throwing jabs back and forth. Anything from all that?
No, it's just, I mean, he continues to show his power and his, the wisdom that comes with having been in a position that he's been in for such a long time. All of it just matches up with exactly what you expect. What I would like to do is be a fly on the wall with his other conversations he's going to have with the other, nobility.
Yeah.
I'm curious about how those conversations go.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. So, and then there's the whole thing about, Vin recognizing that the servants were allomancers.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh yeah, this guy's like a 10 or
yeah.
What was it? She said
10-eye. There's a couple thugs.
Was it 10-eye and a thug? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyway, but so she's like picking them out. She's like recognizing who's who around the room.
Yeah. She's spreading bronze and figured out who's who. Yeah.
Yeah. But she's like, but he's placed all these allomancers who obviously are not the servants because they're like, I guess, kind of fumbling or clumsy or whatever. I don't know what it was that she picked up on, but she's like, oh, they're not really servants. They're just people to help be in the area to protect or, if necessary. And I was like, that makes sense. That's what you would do. So,
yeah.
Interesting.
And his argument is pretty good. I mean, he says, why do you think people will vote for you? It's like, I have food.
By the way, the two things that are brought up in these chapters that are not emphasized enough that I'm glad is being brought up in these conversations is one, the illness is kind of going through the city because of the poisoning that's happening, and two, the starvation that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Those two things we haven't really been really made well aware of until these moments, and you're like, it really. And the reason why I appreciate it being brought up is because it really brings to light the fact of how naive Vin, Ellen, etc. are about how the drama that the people are going through.
Right. I mean, that's how most sieges work. is when you siege a castle or a city and you surround it where they can't get food from the outside in anymore.
Yeah.
The population revolts from inside because they run out of food.
And you lose. There's no bloodshed on your part. It's like just stop supplies going in. They will kill themselves, not from starvation, but from, like you just said, the revolt and the uprising that occurs.
Uprising because there's no.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a paper that was written, a white paper. This was a political one that was written a couple of years ago, and I can't remember the exact time frame, but it's like 2 weeks to anarchy, and it was about modern, just modern structure. That if logistics were to shut down and like let's say the Teamsters and trucks stop shipping food for 2 weeks. Like most major cities only have about a 2-week supply of food in the grocery stores. And if the trucks stop running and the bread basket of America and all the food stops coming into the cities, literally it's anarchy within like 2 weeks. Because, well,
I wouldn't be surprised about that.
Yeah, extreme hangriness is what it says. Yeah, but yeah, when the food stops coming in and you have large concentrations of people, it gets ugly very, very quickly. I mean, and there's been even small scale. I mean, Katrina is a good example of that, where you have complete breakdown society really rapidly when food stops coming in. Because they couldn't get food in for a long time because everything was washed out, and there was a lot of problems. I mean, there's other issues too with Katrina, but it was a complete disaster with such a large population. But yeah, so and that goes back to ancient times too. I mean, surrounding cities, and you have all the farmland on the outskirts, and you can feed your armies because you have all the farmland out there, and then nothing's getting
right. There's so many examples of that throughout history. Those sieges that occur where it's like basically just basically surround a city, and basically it's like, okay, they just come out like waving white flag, like we're done, we're done, we got nothing.
Yeah. So, it has food. They asked about the ATM as well, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't have any ATM." And he's like, "You still think I have an ATM?" He's like, "Of course you have it." Says, "Where else would it be?" And he says,
and he's like, "Did you check the mattresses? He's like, did you check behind the shoes? Did you?" He's like giving ideas about places they need to go look.
Ellen's like, "Yeah, there is no. We never found it if it's here." And he's like, "But the rumors,
the statues."
But the rumors says he's like, "Breeze spread those rumors. I thought you would have figured that out." He's like, "But Breeze did everything to keep me from being here. He downplayed the rumors. He tried to distract me. He trailed off." And he's like, "I thought he was only there to spy. It seems that I underestimated you after all."
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, people can still use the food though." So, he's like, "Yeah, they are starving now." But pretty much, Seth realizes there's no point of keeping Ellen because, well, there is no ATM. I think at one point he said, he was going to try to, take him hostage, but he's not worth anything anymore.
Yeah, it's like, what are you going to provide?
Yeah. It's like, so you really don't have any ATM at all, Seth says. None that we're willing to sell. It says, "You've searched the city 12 times. The statues, perhaps the Lord Ruler,
the statues
hid metal by melting it down or something like that." And he's like, "We thought of that. Nope. There's no ATM in there either."
He's like, and they're not hollow or something like that.
Yeah. Caves, tunnels, nope. Can't find anything.
Mm-mm.
He's like, "So I suppose holding you for ransom would be pointless." He goes, "Probably. No one will pay you."
Yep.
We don't have any money. So he's like, "I suppose you can go then."
Yep.
So, that was one of Seth's plans, was to hold him for ransom, but it's like, well, that's not going to work. So, yeah. I guess Seth realizes that, there is nothing to be there. And that's how we end this chapter, really, is Seth going, well, damn. And realizing that Breeze did play him, which I think is amazing. My boy Breeze.
Your boy Breeze. Your boy Breeze. I mean, but that's what he's been doing this whole time, though, if you think about it. I mean, his strength, maybe, aligning people. I'm sorry, persuading people to, come to his cause or believe what he wants to believe. But his ability to spread crazy rumors and get people in a fervor about things continues to be his strength, and really goes almost uncredited how many
Right.
times he had to do that. He's been doing this for like now 2 books. That's like his big, I guess, task that he's been able to accomplish every time is like, I'm going to get you thinking about something that isn't true, but I'm just going to spread the seeds of discontent or
Right.
whatever it is and have all these people just believe whatever I want to, have, them, believe whatever these seeds I plant. And it just continues to be effective. And yeah, great. He's good at, swaying people, but really, and he even said it when he was training Vin, he was like, that's not really the thing, what what you want to do to, influence or whatever, be powerful. It's, putting out these false rumors, et cetera, because that's the thing you don't expect. And that's the thing that actually causes the most harm
Right.
is the falsity. He's able to go out here and like, sow this tapestry of lies, and
Mm-hmm.
shoot, it just like continues to come back and provide rewards for the group that
Right.
he's aligned with. So good for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how we end this chapter with Set Let Him Go.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of stuff going on right now. We still have a
Mm-hmm.
spy somewhere. We have Set looks like he's favored to be king. We have a Kolos army that's a day away.
Mm-hmm.
We still have Straff out there doing Straff things. We have Zane now being Zane things.
Yeah.
Not looking good for everyone.
But Elland has done a great job so far of making it really evident that there is not much of a reason to lay siege and lay waste to this city.
Mm-hmm.
Because for what end? What do you gain?
Yeah.
And at this rate, not much. Bragging rights, and that's about it. So I think that he's done a good job of that. So it's like if you were gonna come like attack my house, and I was like, oh, there's nothing in it. It's like, well, then why would you want to attack? Then it's like there's nothing there. So you might as well just like, well, save your resources and go attack something else. But now you have multiple attackers, and you have another army get ready to come into the mix who's a day away.
Right.
And I'm like, the whole thing just sounds like it's just going to be like it's a war of attrition, but like it's going to be no winners. It's going to be a zero-sum game. And I'm like, that's at this point in time, you might as well just go ahead and just pack up and go home. They have like, what resources can they provide you, your army, your kingdom? Right now, not much.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, anything else from these chapters?
Nope. Not that I can think of. I think we covered everything. So
okay, cool.
Yep.
Favorite character?
Set.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Set.
You like Set?
Yeah, he's ornery. Again, I like that.
Yeah.
He's been around the block a few times.
Yes, a little rough around the edges. Doesn't care. It doesn't care. We've all met those characters. The completely blunt, crass
absolutely,
guys.
Absolutely.
Don't care.
So I don't buy the fact he's Mistborn. I don't.
Okay.
I'm not there yet. Maybe he's an Alamancer, but yeah, I don't buy these Mistborn.
Yeah.
But I like him in general. I don't think he's gonna come out of this in a good position, though. Unfortunately, sorry for him.
Yeah. Well, of course, my go-to is always Breeze, but tonight I'll pick a different one. I'll pick Elend.
Okay, yeah, because Elend actually he actually even had a dueling cane,
and not just for that, but just for telling off Tindwell. Don't talk about boy. Don't talk about boy like that.
Yeah, that dynamic is interesting. How that has like flipped on its head, right? So, which says a lot about how that says a lot about how she's trained him, though, too. So that's good.
It is. Yep. So next week we'll be doing 3 chapters because that finishes part 3. Okay. So we'll be wrapping up part 3 with 3 chapters. Hopefully have a nice little cliffhanger again because that's usually how these parts end.
Yeah, you know how they is.
Yeah. So we'll do that, and I think there's 5 parts to every book. So 5 parts. So
okay,
we're a little over halfway done with the book. Mm-hmm. We'll be finishing up somewhat soon.
Good.
So, yeah, we finished before Christmas.
Hooray!
Hooray! And then we can start Heroes of Ages and finish up before Jordan Con, the first Mistborn trilogy. Yeah. So at least that's what we're on schedule to do.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, so 3 chapters. I'll let Will know as well, and hopefully next week Will will be back, and we'll have the whole crew back together again for the final of part 3. And
Cool.
yeah, hopefully we'll have and we are going to be planning on doing a live reaction at some point during part 4. I think it's going to be in November. I can't remember exactly what date it is and what chapter. I think it's like the second week of November. So we'll do a live reaction to one of these chapters because I want to get you guys' reaction. So
Cool. All right. Just let me make sure you let me know.
Yeah, we'll give plenty of notice. I'll figure it out, but it'll be like mid November, so it'll be like in like 3 weeks or so, something like that.
All right.
But yeah, so how you can be found is at thecosmereads.com. The website doesn't work because
Hooray.
Yay. Yeah, so go find us there. Find links to all sorts of cool stuff like Discord, social media, merchandise. We do sell that, and Patreon. So if you want to support us, and when we do finally do a live reaction to one of these things, it will be only available to our Patreons at certain tiers. So if you want to see those live reactions to really cool chapters that I picked out for them, yeah, go join the Patreon so you can at least see that. And yeah, I thought the website got fixed. It is fixed. Yeah, it works. All the websites work. Is it not working? Did someone just try it? Did it work? If it didn't work, that's not my fault. I don't know what's going on. That's your internet. Let's go to cosmereads.com and it's working. Yeah, no, it works. Yeah. I just did it. It works.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely go check us out there. Follow the links and make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTubes. Helps the algorithm gods. Write reviews, like it all. You can dislike too. That helps the algorithms too. Any interaction does. So yeah, I don't really care which way you do it. Just interact. If you don't interact, that just means you're not helping us out. So help us out.
Bingo.
If you really hate us,
feedback.
If you really hate us, do nothing. So
if you hate us, give us some insight. We'll fix things.
Yeah,
we'll change things.
Maybe. We'll see.
Like the $6 million man will become better, faster, stronger.
We'll take it into consideration.
That's right.
As Sazed, his advice is, we value our own opinions more than the people's opinions. So it is what it is.
There you go. That sounds like a shirt.
If I have time, I'll do it. If not,
there you go.
That's
right.
Anyways, yeah. So all those good things, and that's all I got for this week. So next week, hopefully, we'll have an outro. But for right now, see you next time.
Hey, Scos,